Shalom, shalom, Israel. And this is Shabbat, Parsha 42, Mattot. And we will be in Numbers chapter 30, verses 1 through chapter 32, verse 40. And then the half Torah will be Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 1 through chapter 2, verses 3. All right, before we get started, let's go ahead and say our prayer, our petitions. All right. Bring us back, our Father, to your Torah, and bring us near, our Sovereign, to your service, and influence us to return in complete repentance before you. Benevolent are you, he that causes to exist, who desires repentance. Forgive us, our Father, for we have transgressed. Pardon us, our Sovereign, for we have willfully transgressed. For a pardoner and forgiver are you. Benevolent are you, he that causes to exist, the gracious one who abundantly forgives. Heal us, he that causes to exist, then we will be healed. Save us, and we will be saved, for the one we praise is you. Bring healing that is complete for all our ailments, for our power and sovereign healer, who is faithful and compassionate, are you. Benevolent are you, he that causes to exist, who heals the sick of his people, Israel. Shalom, abundant upon Israel, your people, established forever, for it is you who is sovereign, master of all shalom. May it be good in your eyes to increase your people, Israel, at every time, at every hour, with your shalom. Baruch Hashem. Okay, and then we go into the Shema, which is a commandment, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 through 9. So, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Alakanu, Hashem Akkad, Baruch Hashem, Kavak Malik 2, Le'elam Ba'et, V'havta Et, Hashem Elahaka, Uskul, Naska, Uskul, Mordeka. All right, so here, Israel, the Lord your God is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul. All right. So now we will go into the Torah Parsha. Right, we will be Numbers chapter 30, verses 1 through chapter 32, verse 40, and then Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 1 through chapter 2, verses 3. Okay, so we start now Numbers chapter 30. Torah for the Torah Parsha. Numbers 30, verse 1. And Moses spoke to the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which he that causes to exist has commanded. If a man vow a vow to he that causes to exist, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. Right? So all vows that are made in the Most High's name are binding and must be fulfilled, no matter what you say. You have an example of this in I think it is First Kings, when the man who said that whoever takes this city, I will, I will offer a sacrifice for the first person that comes out of my house, and it ended up being his daughter. Okay. Verse 3. If a woman also vow a vow to he that causes to exist, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's bed or her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow, and her bond wherewith she has bound her soul, and her father shall hold his salam at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she has bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he hears, not any of her vows or her bonds wherewith she has bound her soul shall stand. And he that causes to exist shall forgive her, because her father has disallowed her vow. Right? So this right here, as you can see, if a woman made a vow and her father hears it, he can annul it, but he can leave it and let it be fulfilled. It's up to his choice, depending on if he likes the vow that he hears her vow. Okay? Verse 6. And if she had at all a husband when she vowed or uttered anything out of her lips wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it and held his shalom or his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vows shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of non effect, and he that causes to exist shall forgive her. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their soul, shall stand against her. Right? So see, this right here is also showing that the divorced woman has no protection. Okay? The widow doesn't have protection because the widow's husband protection is gone. Why? Because the protection of the husband, if he heard the vow, he can disannul it, right? There was a protection that it was afforded to a woman for being married, all right? Verse 10. And if she vowed in her husband's house or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it and held his peace at her and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband has utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceed out of her lips concerning her vows or concerning the bond of her soul shall not stand. Her husband has made them void, and he that causes to exist shall forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to affect the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his shalom at her from day, shall hold his shalom at her from day to day, then he establishes her all her vows or all her bonds which are upon her. He confirms them, because he held his shalom at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall in any way make them void after that he has heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. Right? So we're gonna read that again. We're gonna start again in verse 11. Or verse 10. And if she vowed in her husband's house or bound her soul by a bond with the oath, and if her husband heard it and held his peace at her and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband has utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceed out of her lips concerning her vows or concerning the bond of her soul shall not stand. Her husband has made them void, and he that causes to exist shall forgive her. Verse 13. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. So this is the privilege that is afforded to husbands. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or he may make it void. Okay? So he has the power to either establish it or to make it void. Now, this is only vows or binding oaths that pertain to afflicting the soul. Okay? Right? Because it says, every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he establishes all her vows. So he has until the end of the biblical day to make her vows void. And if he does not, then all her vows and her bonds become valid, and he confirms them. Okay? So you can confirm things by holding your peace, by not speaking up against them. Okay. Let's see here. He confirms them because he held his shalom at her in the day that he heard them. So again, you have all day to think about what the vow that your wife has vowed or bonded herself to, and then you could come back and be like, before the day is over with, and be like, nah, baby, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm gonna pray to the Most High that he disannul that. Or you come in and be like, okay, I agree with that, I support that, and so I will hold my shalom to the end of the day, to the next day. But if he shall in any way make them void after that he has heard them, then he shall bear her sin. So if you go back the next day and be like, well, man, I thought about it, I had a chance to sleep on it, now I want to disannul that, then the Most High say, then her sin gonna be on you, because you had all day to disannul that vow, but then you waited to the next day. That's wickedness. That's wickedness. But this also shows the power and the authority that the husband has over the wife, right? Because he that gets a wife gets a possession. That's why the husband gets that authority. You see this all throughout the Torah, all throughout the law. Okay? Verse 16. These are the statutes which he that causes to exist commanded Moses between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house. Right? chapter 31. So 31, verse 1. And he that caused to resist spoke to Moses, saying, avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward shall you be gathered to your people. And Moses spoke to the people, saying, arm some of yourselves to the war, and let them go against the Midianites, and avenge he that causes to resist of Midian. Of every tribe 1,000. Throughout all the tribes of Israel shall you send to war. So every tribe had to send 1,000 men for war. So it was a total of 12,000 men that should have been, okay? 1,000 men from Issachar, 1,000 men from Simeon, 1,000 men from Judah, 1,000 men from Reuben, 1,000 men from Levi, okay? Verse 5. So there were given out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar. Right? So he sent them and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the Kohen, which is the high priest, to the war, with the set apart instruments and the shofarim to blow in his hand. So this right here, so when we go to war, we bring the set apart instruments and we bring the shofar. Right? Those are the things that we bring with us when we go out to battle. Okay? The priest has the shofar, he'll blow the shofar, and the Levites, the Levi, they will have the set apart instruments. Okay? Let's see here. We are verse 7. And they warred against the Midianites as he that causes to resist commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. They killed all the males of the Midianites. And they slew all the kings of Midian, beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi, Rechem, and Zur, Echor, and Ribah. 5 sovereigns of Midian, so 5 kings of Midian that they killed. And Balaam, also the son of Beor, they killed with the sword. Now, why did they kill Balaam with the sword? Right? They killed Balaam because he came to collect the reward for the 24,000 Israelites he caused to die. These were victims of the lechery of Balaam and his scheme to cause Israel to whore with the foreign Jordanian women, which was Moab, okay? And if you go back to the Numbers chapter 29, I think it is, you will see how Balaam, Pinhas, one of the Levites, the son of Eleazar, killed a man, an Israelite man, and a Midianite woman or a Moabite woman because as they were going into the tent, because the children of Israel were whoring with the Moabite women, and the Moabite women were taught this by Balaam. Okay, and you can go and see this right here, and I think it's in chapter 29. You can see here. No, it's not in chapter 29, but it's somewhere else. In Exodus, okay, in Exodus, I think it is when Balaam taught the Balak, the king of Moab, and he taught the daughters of Moab to trick the children of Israel into whoring and sleeping with them, and the Most High got angry, and the son of Eleazar stuck a spear through the princess of Moab and the Israelite man that she was about to sleep with. Okay, so I will post that in the bottom of the comments so you can know where to find that exactly. All right. So verse 9. And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives and their little ones, and took the spoil of all their cattle and all their flocks and all their goods. So this was the practice of our forefathers. Whenever we took over a nation that we warred with, we killed all the men. We took the women and the children and the cattle and the spoil. All right, and the flocks and all their goods. Okay. And then we burned the cities down, right? And then this was called booty, the booty of war, the spoil of war. We split it up amongst our brothers, okay? And verse 10. And they burnt all the cities wherein they dwelt, and all the goodly castles, and with fire. And they took all the spoil and all the prey, both of men and of beasts. And they brought the captives and the prey and the spoil to Moses and Eleazar the Kohen, which is the high priest, and to the congregation of the children of Israel, to the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by Jordan near Jericho. Exactly what I just got finished saying. So see, they brought all the spoil back to the nation of Israel, split up. And Moses and Eleazar the Kohen and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them outside the camp. And Moses was very angry with the officers of the host and the captains over thousands and the captains over hundreds which came from the battle. And Moses said to them, have you rescued all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against he that causes to exist in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of he that causes to exist. So see, as you can see, this is what was one of the common customs that they did. And as you can see, Moses was mad about it because these were the women that, and I said Moab, but it was actually the Midianite women that Balaam taught to trick, okay? And that is why they killed him, because 24,000 Israelites were killed because of the Midianite women that they slept with, okay, that they brought back and caused the whore. Because Balaam told them that I cannot curse what the Most High has blessed. So in order for you to conquer them or to have them get in trouble with their God is you have to make them angry with their power, with their El. In order to do that, you have to use trickery. So this is what you do. You take your beautiful daughters and you entice them to sleep with them. And when you entice them to sleep with them, you teach them about your God. And you have them worship and do things and that your God tells them to do. And that is how you conquer Israel. And the same thing is happening again today in the modern day times, with the New Testament and the Greek God, Yahshua, and all this other kind of stuff. Nonsense. Verse 17. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that has known man by lying with him. So now Moses told them to kill every male child. All right, we'll read it again. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones. So kill every male child. And kill every woman that has known man by lying with him. So kill every woman that's had sex before. Every woman that's not a virgin, kill them. Off top. Right? Now, my side notes that I have here says, these women had been defiled by worshiping false Elohim and would lead Israel and others astray. The adulterers in Israel were killed, and these Midianite women were partners in that adultery, in that idolatry. Now, according to the Torah law, both the male and female must die. This is why these women had to be killed, and the kids were the product of that adultery. The kids also would have grown up to do the same in their death. They would only go back to he that causes to exist, who would not send the children to, the lake of fire or those that believe in lake of fire or whatever. The virgin women were given a chance since they could be married and brought to the contract of he that causes to exist. Now, this is also proof that a woman must convert to the Torah. Okay, you cannot marry women that don't convert to the Torah. Women that are not, they're considered heathens. If they don't follow the Torah, they don't come up under the contract and the agreement of Abraham, they are considered goy or goyim, and you are forbidden to marry them. Okay, you are forbidden to marry them. They must come up under the contract and the agreement of the Torah, okay, and the halakha and the mitzvot of the contract and the agreement, okay. Same thing for you women who are trying to marry brothers. They must come under the mitzvot and the halakha of the contract and the agreement of the Torah, okay. All right, so I'm gonna read that again. All right, so verse 17. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that has known man by lying with them. And I'm going to read again the reason why. These women had been defiled by worshiping false Elohim, false gods, and would lead Israel and others astray. Why would they do that? Because Balaam taught them how to do that. Okay, you see that in verse 8 where it says, and they also killed Balaam, also the son of Beor, they slew with the sword. Okay, the adulterers in Israel were killed. Right, you got that in chapter 29 when you got Pinhas killing killing the men who slept with the princess or was about to sleep with the princess, and the plague stopped. But 24,000 Israelites were killed. Okay. were killed, and these Midianite women were partners in that idolatry because they taught Israel a different Elohim while they were sleeping with them. Now, according to the Torah law, both the male and female must die. This is why these women had to be killed, and the kids were the product of that adultery, right? Because the men committed adultery by sleeping with women who worship different gods, right? And so not only that, you had, they had to go. The kids also would have been grown up to do the same, and in their death, they would have only gone back to he that causes to exist, who would not send the children to hell or to the lake of fire or to the pit. The virgin women were given a chance since they could be married and brought into the contract of he that causes to exist. All right? That is the difference, okay? And that is why it's important that you tie yourself with somebody who's under the contract and the agreement, okay? Now, verse 18. But all the female children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. But all the female children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Right? Teenagers who had not known any man, they were able to live. Teenagers that had known a man, they were killed. This is the harsh reality of he that causes to exist. Okay? It is what it is. Verse 19. And you abide outside the camp 7 days. Whosoever has killed any person, and whosoever has touched any slain, purifies both yourself and your captives on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day. Right? So what is Moses telling them right here? Moses just told them, and you abide, so stay outside the camp 7 days. And anybody that has killed anybody, or anybody that has touched any dead body, purifies both you and your captive slaves. So you and the women that you taken as slaves, as concubines or whatever it is, as slaves, or whatever you taking them for, you must purify you and them. Okay? So you're going to purify, which means take a ritual mikvah, okay? A ritual cleansing, a mikvah. You will purify both yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day. So the 3rd day you will take a ritual mikvah. You will immerse yourself in water, okay, and cleanse and purify yourself. And on the 7th day you will take a mikvah and immerse and purify yourself and say your prayers, your mikvah prayers, okay? For you will do the same thing, and your captives, your women that you just took captive, y'all will do the exact same things, okay? And the reason why I say women, because there is no men, because what? He just said kill every male among the little ones, right? They had already killed every other male. Verse 20. And purify all your raiment. Cleanse your clothes, your battle instruments for war, your spears, your food packs, your shields. Cleanse them, purify them. And all that is made of skins, and all work of goat's hair, and all things made of wood. So clean everything. Your tent, your cover your goat skins that you use to cover up to keep warm at night. Purify and clean. Everything has become defiled because you have went to war, and you have killed, and you have touched dead bodies, and you have done detestable things of war. Okay, so you must be cleansed and purified outside of the camp 7 days. On the 3rd day, take your ritual mikvah, and on the 7th day, take your ritual mikvah as well. Verse 21. And Eleazar the Kohen said to the men of war which went to battle, this is the ordinance of the Torah which he that causes to exist commanded Moses. Right? So Eleazar the Kohen, the high priest, put a stamp on it. Boom. This is what the Most High said. Why? Why did Eleazar come and put it? And how was he able to put a stamp on it? Why? Because the Levites, they did not get a portion. Their portion is of the Most High, a direct line to the Most High. Remember in the last Torah video, Parsha video from last weekend, that I told you guys that the Kohen has the ability to make decrees and it be valid in the eyes of the Most High because it comes from the Most High, he that causes to exist. Okay, this is the decree right here that the Kohen is making. And Eleazar the Kohen said to the men of war which went to the battle, this is the ordinance of the Torah, which he that causes to exist commanded Moses. Verse 22, only the gold and the silver, the brass, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that may abide the fire, you shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with fire, purified with the water, with the mayim of separation, and all that abides not the fire, you shall make it go through the water. Again, so this is why I told you, ritual mikvah right here, purification mikvah. So the swords, their spears, their shields, what did they do? They sprinkle water on them, and then they purify them by spinning them through the fire. The goat's hair, their tents made out of sheep hair and beds made out of sheep hair. What did they do? They purify them by washing them with mayim, water. The proof is right here. This is the ordinance. What did he say? This is the decree from the Kohen, from Eleazar, from he that causes to exist. Verse 24. And you shall wash your clothes on the seventh day, and you shall be clean. And afterward you shall come into the camp. So on the third day, you do your ritual mikvahs, right? You and your captives. On the seventh day, you do your ritual mikvahs, you and your captives. But on the seventh day, you shall wash your clothes, right? You shall cleanse your clothes, and then you shall come into the camp, right? So let's read it again. And you shall wash your clothes on the seventh day, and you shall be clean. And afterward, you shall come into the camp. And he that causes to exist spoke to Moses, saying, take the sum of the plunder that was captured, both of man and of beast, you and Eleazar the Kohen, and the chief avot, the chief fathers of the congregation, and divide the prey into two parts, between them that took the war upon them who went out to battle, and between all the congregation. Didn't I just tell you a few minutes ago that the Israel, what they do? They had the booty of war, the plunder of war, and they brought it back and they spread it amongst the people, right? So that means just because you didn't go to war doesn't mean that you didn't get no slaves. Just because you didn't go to war doesn't mean you didn't get no gold or no rubies from that war. Just because you didn't go to that war doesn't mean that you don't get no concubines from that war, okay? We brought everything back. The Most High told Moses to divide the two, split them into two, divide everything up and split it into two equally, and give it to and divide it up into the congregation, and then the other half into those that went to war. Okay? And remember, what did he say in verse 21? The Kohen say, the decree that he said, this is the ordinance of the Torah, which he that causes to exist commanded. Right? So verse 27 again. And divide the prey into two parts, between them that took the war upon them who went out to battle, and between all the congregation. And levy a tribute to he that causes to exist of the men of war which went out to battle, one soul of 500, both of the persons and of the cattle, and of the asses, and of the sheep. So all the men that went to war, they had to, for every 500, they had to give one soul, and for every 500 cattle, they had to give one soul of cattle, and of the cattle, of the asses, and of the sheep, etc. Of each animal that they took, of every 500, they had to offer up one. For each person, they had to offer up one as a tribute to he that causes to exist. Verse 29, take it of their half, and give it to Eleazar the Kohen for a heave offering to he that causes to exist. There it is. And the children of Israel's, and of the children of Israel's half, you shall take one portion of the 50 of the persons, of the cattle, of the asses, and of the flocks, and of the manners of beasts, and give to the Levites, which keep the charge of the tent of he that causes to exist. So of the people, they took one of every 50 and gave it to the Levites. Okay, that is how it went, and that was the law. Okay, let's see here. Verse 31. And Moses and Eleazar the Kohen did as he that causes to resist commanded Moses. And the spoils of war, being the rest of the plunder which the men of war had caught, was 600,000 and 75,000 sheep, and 72,000 cattle, and 61,000 asses, and 32,000 persons in all, of women that had not known men by lying with them. So they had 32,000 women. Okay? 32,000 divided by 2 is what? What's my calculator? Because we're going to do some math here. We're going to do some math. 32,000 divided by 2. So that means 16,000 women went to the men of war. 16,000 women went to Israel, to the nation of Israel. Of those 16,000 that went to the nation of Israel, right, that did not go to war, it says every one of every 50 goes to the Levites. So 16,000 divided by 50. 320, right? So that's so 50 goes into 16,320 times, right? So that means that's 300. So the Levites got 320 women out of the 32,000, right? So now we're going to do how many that the men had. So the men of war had 16,000 as well. So 16,000 men out of every 500. So we're going to divide that by 500. That's 32, right? So it was 32 that was offered up as a sacrifice to the Most High. And I don't mean that they actually sacrificed them. They didn't do any of that. No. It says, because we go back here, it says, verse 27, divide them into the prey into two parts between them that took upon the war and went to battle, and between all the congregation, and levy a tribute of the men of war which went out to battle, one soul of 500, both of persons and of cattle. Take it of their half and give it to Eleazar for a heave offering. It's a heave offering, right? It's not a sacrificial offering. It's none of this. It's a heave offering. So 32 women went toward the heave offering, and 320 women went to were given to the Levites from Israel of the 32,000 women that did not know men. Okay, now let's go to the it was 72,000 cattle. So 72,000 cattle. So 72,000, right? And remember, the men of war every 500. So we divide that by 500. We get 144, right? So it was 144 cattle for the heave offering. Okay, and now we will go to the back again to see what the Levites got. 16,000 divided by 50, because they get 50, right? And they got 320. So that was, it would be, not 16,000. It was, 72,000. 72,000 divided by 50, right? So 50 goes into 72,000, 1,440 times. So they had to give one out of every 50. So that would be 1,440 cattle that the Levites got. Okay? So this is the simple math. All right, so now we left off at verse, we are down to verse 36. We're down to verse 36 now. And the half which was the portion of them that went out to war was 337,500 sheep. And he that causes to resist tribute of the sheep was 675. Okay. And the cattle were 36,000, of which he that causes to resist tribute was 72. There we go. And the asses were 72. me see something real quick. Get that. 1440. Yeah, okay, 70, okay. Alright, so yeah, that's right. Divided by that. We didn't do it one more time. Take off the 0. And the cattle were 36,000, of which he that caused to resist tribute was 72. And the asses were 30,500, of which he that causes to resist tribute was 61. And the persons were 16,000, of which he that causes to resist tribute were 32 persons. So we were correct on that. And he that causes to resist gave the tribute, which was he that causes to resist contribution offering. So the Most High, this was the heave offering, and it was also the contribution offering in the times of war. So the Most High contributed to our success. You had to give up the offering. To Eleazar the Kohen, as he that causes to resist commanded Moses, and the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided from the men that warred. Now the half that pertained to the congregation was 300,000, 37,500 sheep, and 36,000 cattle, and 30,500 asses, and 16,000 persons. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took one portion of 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them to the Levites, which kept the charge of the tent of he that causes to resist, as he that causes to resist commanded Moses. And the officers who were over thousands of the host, the captains of thousands, and the captains of hundreds came near to Moses. And they said to Moses, your servants have taken the sum of the men of war, which are under our charge, and there lacks not one man of us. We have therefore brought an offering for he that causes to resist, what each man has received of jewels of gold, chains, and bracelets, rings, earrings, and tablets, to make atonement for our souls before he that causes to exist. So see, look, they still had to make atonement for going out to war, doing what the Most High told them to do. Why? Because they were defiled. Right? And Moses and Eleazar the Kohen took the gold of them, and even all wrought jewels, and all the gold of the offering that they offered up to he that causes to resist, of the captains of thousands and of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. For the men of war had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Moses and Eleazar the Kohen took the gold of the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tent of the appointed times, for a memorial for the children of Israel before he that causes to exist. Right? So they offered up an offering for atonement for killing all the people that they killed when they're out from war, okay, to atone for the sins. Chapter 32, verse 1. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad, had a very great multitude of cattle. And when they saw the land of Yetzir and the land of Gilead, that behold, the place was a place for cattle. The children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moses and to Eleazar the Kohen and to the princes of the congregation, saying, Adaroth and Dibon and Yetzir and Nimrah and Heshbon and Eliah and Shebam and Nebo and beyond. Even the country which he that causes to resist smote before the congregation of Israel is a land for cattle, and your servants have cattle. Wherefore said they, if we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants for a possession, and bring us not over Jordan. And Moses said to the children of Gad and the children of Reuben, will your brethren go to war, and shall you sit here? And why do you discourage the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which he that causes to resist has given them? Thus did not your fathers, when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land? For when they went up to the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, that they should not go into the land which he that causes to resist had given them. And he that causes to resist anger was kindled the same time, and he swore, saying, surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swore to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Jacob, because they have not fully followed me. Because they have what? They have not fully followed me. Except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Yehoshua, the son of Nun. For they have fully followed he that causes to exist. And he that causes to exist anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the congregation that had done evil in the sight of he that causes to exist was consumed. And behold, you are risen up in your fathers instead, a brood instead a brood of transgressors, to ignite the fierce anger of he that causes to exist toward Israel again. For if you turn away from him, he will yet again leave them in the wilderness, and you shall destroy all this people. And they came near to him and said, we will build sheepfolds here for our cattle, and cities for our little ones. But we ourselves will go ready armed before the children of Israel, until we have brought them to their place, and our little ones shall dwell in the fenced cities, because the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance, for we will not inherit it with them on the other side Jordan, or forward, because our inheritance is fallen to us on this side Jordan, eastward. And Moses said to them, if you will do this thing, if you will go armed before he that causes to exist to war, and you will go all of you armed over Jordan before he that causes to exist, until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land be subdued before he that causes to exist, then afterward you shall return and be guiltless before he that causes to exist, and before Israel, and this land shall be possession before he that causes to exist. Now, Moses is telling them, if you do this thing, if you stay here and build cities and sheepfolds for your sheep and establish yourselves, and you go with your brethren and fight, okay, all of you, and you fight and you don't stop and you don't come back until your brethren have conquered their portion, then the Most High, he won't hold you guiltless. He'll accept that. He'll be okay, you fulfill this. You did not abandon me. You did not abandon your brothers. All right? Verse 23, but if you will not do so, behold, you have transgressed against he that causes to exist, and be sure your transgression will find you out. Transgression, you can't hide from it. It will seek you out. It will find you out. This is what the Most High has programmed into his design. Verse 24, build your cities for your little ones, and folds for your sheep, and do that which has proceeded out of your mouth. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moses, saying, your servants will do as my master commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our cattle shall be there in the city of Gilead. But your servants will pass over, every man armed for war, before he that causes to exist to battle, as my servant says. So concerning them, Moses commanded Eleazar the Kohen, and Yehoshua the son of Nun, and the chief Avot, fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. And Moses said to them, if the children of Gad and the children of Reuben will pass with you over Jordan, every man armed to battle, before he that causes to exist, and the land shall be subdued before you. And then you shall give them the land of Gilead for a possession. But if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, as he that causes to exist has said to your servants, so will we do. We will pass over armed before he that causes to exist into the land of Canaan, that the possession of our inheritance on this side of Jordan may be ours. And Moses gave to them even the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and to half the tribe of Manasseh the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sichon, sovereign of the Amori, and the kingdom of Og, sovereign of Bashan, the land with the cities there in the coast, even the cities of the country round about. And the children of Gad built Dibon, and Adaroth, and Auror, and Atroth, and Shophan, and Yazir, and Yagbahath, and Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran, fenced cities and folds for sheep. And the children of Reuben built Heshbon, and Eliah, and Kiriathaim, and Nebo, and Baal Meon, their names being changed, and Shibmah, and gave the other names to the cities which they built. And the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and took it, and disposed the armory which was in it. And Moses gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he dwelt therein. And Yair, the son of Manasseh, went and took the small towns there, and called them Havuth Yair. And Naboth went and took Kanath, and the villages there, and called it Nobah, after his own name. All right. So now we will move to the half Torah, which is Jeremiah chapter 1. Jeremiah chapter 1. Let's see here. Get to it. Jeremiah chapter 1. Yirmiyah, also known as Jeremiah the weeping prophet. So we will read chapters 1, verses 1 through chapter 2, verses 3 for the half Torah portion, okay? Yirmiyah, chapter 1, verse 1. The words of Yirmiyah, the son of Hilkiah, Hilkiah of the Kohim that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin. All right. Jeremiah's name means Yah will rise. When he will rise to crush the radical Islamic forces in the future and the Christian forces as well. And the Illuminati trying to set up the one world order. Okay. Yirmiyah, Yah will rise. That is what his name means. It's a reference to the Most High will rise to crush radical Islamic forces and the one world order that is trying to present itself. That is trying to present itself. All right, sorry about that. Verse 2, to whom the word of Yahweh came, he that causes to exist, some call Yahweh, came in the days of Yoshiyahu, Josiah, the son of Ammon, sovereign of Yehudah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, sovereign of Yehudah, at the end of the 11th year of Tezadaku, the son of Josiah, sovereign of Yehudah, to the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Then the word of he that causes to exist came to me, saying, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came forth out the womb, I set you apart, and I appointed you a prophet to the nations. Right? This is why you don't do abortions. This is why you don't kill people in the womb, because you don't know what the Most High has ordained them in the womb, like Yirmiyah. He was ordained in the womb, right? He says, before he formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came out of the womb, I set you apart. And I appointed you a prophet to the nations. Right? So Jeremiah was appointed a prophet to the nations. Then said I, Master, he that causes to exist, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But he that causes to exist said to me, say not I am a child, for you shall go to all that I send you. And whatsoever I command you, you shall speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with you to rescue you, says he that causes to exist. Then he that causes to exist put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And he that causes to exist said to me, behold, I have put my words in your mouth. See, I have set this day for you over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, and to destroy and to throw down and to build and to paint. Moreover, the word of he that causes to exist came to me, saying, Yirmiyah, or Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see a rod of an almond or almond tree. Right? So what was this referring to? Right? This is the tree of life. This is, all right? This is dress for the tree of life. He said the rod, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said he that causes to exist to me, you have seen well, for I will hasten my word to perform it. And the word of he that causes to exist came to me the second time, saying, what do you see? And I said, I see a boiling pot, and the face of it is from the face of the north. Then he that causes to exist said to me, Out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. Right? So this was referring to the Babylonians and Nebuchadnezzar, right, during his time. But this is also has a two-part meaning. It refers to the end times as well, right? This are the radical Muslim nations that will come from the north, right? Turkey is one of them, okay. And this is what you will see also refers to. I think it's in Obadiah or Zechariah, one of the two, where it talks about they come from the north in the end times, okay, and everybody being down in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Verse 13. Oh, verse 14. Then he that caused to exist said to me, out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For behold, I will call all the armies of the kingdoms of the north, says he that causes to exist, and they shall come. They shall set their throne at the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls round it about, and against all the cities of Yehuda. And I will speak my judgments against them concerning all their wickedness, which have forsaken me, and have burned incense to other powers, and have bowed down to the works of their own hands. You, therefore, gird up your loins, and arise, and speak to them all that I command you. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound you before them. For behold, I have made you this day a walled city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls against the whole land, against the sovereigns of Yehuda, against the princes of there, against the Kohanim of there, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against you, but they shall not prevail against you, for I am with you, says he that causes to exist, to rescue you. So right here, he labels everybody who's going to be against Jeremiah. And it's the same as today. You have all these people who self-proclaimed Kohens, self-proclaimed princes, self-proclaimed kings of Yehuda, who teaching the people another God, and Yahushua and Jesus and all these other things, okay? So it's the same thing that's going on right now. And you have us Old Testament only that are trying to stir people against us, but they are fighting against us, and they're not prevailing because the Most High is bestowing the wisdom of everything that he put in there to break down their shaky doctrine, which is built on sand. Chapter 2, verse 1. Moreover, the word of he that causes to exist came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says he that causes to exist, I remember you, the kindness of your youth, the love of your espousals, when you went after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel was set apart to he that causes to exist, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, says he that causes to exist. Hear the word of he that causes to exist, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. All right, so that will complete our Torah portion and our half Torah portion today. And until the next Shabbat Shalom. Okay, this is Brother Araya shining out. And Baruch Hashem, all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Shabbat Shalom to those who tuned in. And I apologize for uploading the video a day late. Okay, so I apologize for that. And just wanted to pieces and increases to those who worship the Most High and worship the Most High alone. All right, may your children be blessed. May your daughters be like Zion, may be like Sarah. May they be like Rachel. May they be like Rebecca. May your sons be like Solomon. May they be like Jacob. May they be like Isaac and Abraham. All right. All praises to the Most High. Let the Most High's name, he that causes to exist, be magnified throughout the earth. For he that causes to exist is worthy to be praised. All right. Until the next Shabbat, Shalom, Shalom. Baruch Hashem. The Most High love you.